first episode in the Steam session series. We're starting off in a default first-person template blueprint project. In order for you to compile this project, once we are done, you're going to need to have Visual Studios in your PC. There's going to be a link down in the description. Here's the link to the download itself. I'm going to link this article. You need to make sure you install these libraries as well. You should have them available to check once you install them. Don't remember, installed this software like 2 or more years ago last time. Just in case if you download the same version as I do and you didn't get them on installation, you go to Tools, get Tools and Features, wait a little bit more, and there we go. So we need this one, we need this one, and we most certainly need this one. Okay, that's about it. We don't need to write any code, none of that stuff. What we do need is we need to get some plugins. Now we're going to get to this plugin in a second. We're going to need to download it first. Let's go and work with what we have in Unreal and in a proper order. So in the project, edit plugins. What are we going to be looking here for is Steam, and we need to enable OnlineSubsystemSteam, and also we need to enable SteamSockets. These two plugins right here. At this point, you could restart the project, but I'm going to do this later because I still have some things that I need to do, after which I'm going to need to restart the project anyways. So let's locate the root of our project. Let's right click, make a new folder, and let's call this plugins. Now this is where we're going to install our third-party plugins. So at this point, we have enabled the Steam Online Subsystem and the sockets, which allows us to directly connect from player to player. But the issue with this is it is C++ only. We need to expose some things to blueprints so that we can work in blueprints. And that's where this lovely plugin comes into play. VRE UE4.com. We have advanced session binaries. You can go to the GitHub page and get the raw code, or you can just get the pre-compiled plugins over here. Grab one for your engine version. There's all the versions available here, and just download the archive. Now, once you've done that, you will get an archive, and we are looking for these two, Advanced Steam Sessions and Advanced Sessions. And we want to move both of those into the plugins folder. There we go. And now one last thing is we need to configure our engine a little bit. So again, project root folder, folder config, and the default engine INI. Now scroll to the very bottom. That's what we care about. This is what it's going to look like. You need some additional code. Now down in the description box is going to be this piece of code. I'm just going to copy from here, and I'm going to paste this into this project right here. Now real quick, basically this tells the engine to use SteamSockets as a NetDriver, which allows connection peer-to-peer. We are setting the default platform, which is Steam in this case. We are enabling it. We are setting that the server on client. This is mainly for the listen servers, and also enabling something for the SteamNetDrivers. Not exactly sure about this line, but I know that it is needed. The most important part, SteamDevAppId. We are using 4AD for testing. It is only gonna work for testing if both users are in the same region. So if you are from United States, you are not going to be able to test this with somebody from Europe. So get someone from your own region. 4AD ID is basically Steam's testing ID and will not work globally. But for our purpose, for testing, it's going to be fine now. Later, once you package the game, once you ship the game, make sure you get an ID from Steam itself. Okay, once we have saved it, we are all good to restart our project. Now let's see if we have set up everything correctly. You can double check the plugins by looking for Steam. We have the advanced, we have the subsystem, and we have the sockets. Looks good so far. Let's go ahead and let's launch this as a standalone game, because this is going to allow Steam to communicate with the game outside of the engine itself without doing any additional work. And once we do play this and do Shift Tab, we should see our Steam overlay. If I change this to online, it's going to show that I'm playing the Space War game, which is the Steam App ID 480. Okay, so far so good. Now let's set up a very basic session. Now I'm going to make this very quick for this video. We're going to add UIs and everything in the upcoming one. This one's going to be a little bit of a tricky one. So first folder, called Steam. Inside of here, what we're going to need is we're going to need a main menu window. So for that one, we're going to make a new level because we don't need any additional stuff. And we're going to call this start menu level. And let's just go straight inside of it. Here we go, black level, nothing in it. What we now need is to populate these fields. So we're going to need game mode for this level. So we're going to go ahead and make a game mode, and I'm going to call this BP start menu game mode. And we're going to enable it straight away. Default pawn, none. We don't need a pawn in the start menu. There's going to be no movement, no gameplay, just straight UI. So no pawn. What we do need is we do need a controller. So let's make a new player controller. Let's call this BP start menu controller and set it up, start menu controller. There we go. Now the next thing that we need is we need a game instance. So that one's going to be one throughout the entire project. So let's make a new blueprint class. Let's look for a game instance, and because of the advanced sessions plugin, we have advanced friends game instance. This is the one that we're going to be using. This has a few functions that are useful to us. So let's go ahead and let's call this Steam game instance, and let's populate it with a function straight away. First, well, this one needs to do two tasks. It needs to make a session and be able to join a session. So first, let's do a custom event. Let's call this create new session. Then this basically does create advanced session like this. We need to populate a controller, so we're gonna make this as an input. And also I'm gonna change the connections, the public connections to 8. I don't need 100 players right now. Everything else, if you're making a listen server, can stay by default. If you're doing something else, go read through these settings and enable what you need and what you don't need. Now on success, we're gonna do a small little delay. This is where our loading screen is gonna come in eventually. For now, we're gonna deal with the freeze. So we're gonna do just open level by object reference without any loading screens for now. We're gonna add those later. And the level that we wanna set session in is our gameplay level, which in our case is gonna be the level first person. Now for this to be a fully functional listen server, what we need to do is open the drop down and do, in the options we do question mark listen. There we go. Now, so we are able to create a session. Now let's also make sure we can join a session. For that, we're going to go to the functions, override, on session invite accepted. Now this one's very simple because of the amazing plugin. All we basically got to do is join session. The search result is going to be session to join, and the player controller is going to be get player controller with index 0. We're going to be able to join the sessions only from the main menu, so we don't really have to worry about the indexes. They should stay at 0 whenever we are able to initiate this. Okay, now let's make sure that actually this game instance is used. And how do we do that? Is by going to Edit, Project Settings, Maps and Modes, and over here, let's change the startup levels to start menu level, both for the editor and the game. And the game instance class is going to be our Steam game instance. So now we are initiating this one, and it is available throughout the entire level. Okay. Once we're going to go in the level, we're going to open, once we're going to go in the game, we're going to open our start menu level that is using our start menu controller. So let's work on our controller first. Let's go to the event graph. On begin play, what I'm going to do is, since we have a black screen, we're not going to be able to tell if the game is running or not. I'm just going to do a simple print string for now. And I'm going to say game has started. Right? So now once we press play, I'm going to do this in the editor. You can see it prints game has started. Now, we also want to be able to make a session. So for that, I'm just going to quickly do a keyboard key event to not waste a lot of time. So on keyboard key 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast to Steam game instance. Since the game instance is available throughout the entire level, as the object, we can just simply get game instance. like this, as simple as that. Now once we've done that, we can go ahead and launch our newly created function called create new session. And in this case, the player controller can be a reference to ourselves because, well, we are inside of our start menu controller. Now, to be able to test this fully, what you need is another person from the same region or another PC with another Steam account from the same region. Package the project and send it over to them. Once you launch it, the one that's going to join has to stay in the starting screen and not press 1, because once you create a session or join a session, you're not going to be able to rejoin as of right now. Like I said, this is the bare minimums just to make sure everything works, and then we're going to add additional stuff in the upcoming episodes. For now, we're just going to go ahead and package our project. So once you're done packaging, you're going to have a folder called Windows, and you're going to have all of these files. Ignore the archive. I archived it so I can send it over. So let's launch our game. And make sure for the first time when you launch it, it's going to ask you to accept the firewall. So make sure you do. So you just noticed we have game has started. So we're going to be able to press keyboard key 1 now. But instead of that, I'm just going to wait for my wife to enable the game and invite me to the session. So just stay in the starting screen for now. So right now she's going to shift tab, right click on me, and she's going to invite me to the game. I don't have that option, but there we go. We have the invite. I'm going to press play. Give it a few seconds, and there we go. We are both in a lobby using Steam. So that's going to be it for this video. In the upcoming episode, we're going to make actual menus so that we can join, leave, and recreate sections all over again. As of right now, if you launch a session, you're not going to be able to join another one because you need to destroy the previous one before you can join or create a new one. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, join my Discord, and I see you in the next one.